Is Cameron Thorne too undersized for the VNL and big-time professional volleyball? I think not. In this video, we break down why Cameron Thorne has all the intangibles to succeed with USA men's volleyball. Let's get right into it. Cameron Thorne, if you don't know him, now you do. He is a special player, really talented middle blocker. Coming in at 6'4", the rising senior in UCLA Bruin, put on an absolute incredible season this year. The only first-team All-American middle in the country, and it's a credit to who he is as a player and his commitment to the game. Cameron was one of 32 members of the preliminary US roster for this upcoming VNL season. There's a ton of middles on the list, all with different experience, all with different size. If you look at the average height of a middle blocker professionally, I'd say it ranges anywhere from 6'7" to 6'10". In comparison to other middles, while Cam is somewhat short, he makes up for it with a lot of his play, his skill, and his ability. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But from what I saw in Columbus this year, it really reaffirmed what I've seen all season, how he's been the best middle in the NCAA and has the tools and intangibles to really play at any level he wants to. So as we enter VNL season, let's talk about some things I see Cameron Thorne bringing to the table as to why he should make the roster. There's three things that make Cam special, and we'll kind of go through each of those things individually, and then I'll break down some clips and film showing you why he's special in those specific instances. And the first one is his elite verticality. He's talked about it on podcasts, he's mentioned it in videos, and if you watch him in person or on tape, you see the 50-inch vertical on Cam. He can fly. He is 6'4", but from a vertical standpoint, he makes up for that tenfold with his ability to get off the ground and jump quickly and be open and available in the air. That's a huge advantage because when your chest is above the net, it gives you so much more vision, ability, and options to cut, turn, and swing around the block in comparison to an attacker who maybe has their hand above the net but doesn't have their whole body up there if they're taller. So verticality is a huge part of his game. It allows him to be an offensive threat. It allows him to be as dominant as he is. And I know he's committed to really being physical in the gym to get to where he's at. So that's a credit to his work, and it really shows. Secondly, I think this is the most underrated part of his game is his foot speed and his closing ability. As a middle, it's a necessity to block pin to pin, getting out there and closing blocks and sealing up those forehands to get good block touches and funnel that ball where you want it to go for the perimeter defenders. And he does that exceptionally well. I think he's so quick blocking pin to pin that when he waits and closes, oftentimes he beats the outside blocker to that ball. And I'll show kind of an example of that in some film later. But he is so fast. His foot speed is off the charts. He's really quick enough laterally to wait and be patient and then just go out and get the ball. So that's an advantage of being shorter and being faster compared to, a 7-foot giant that maybe seals well in the middle but is slower going pin to pin. And he does that better than anyone I've seen in the NCAA this whole season. The last part of his game that makes him super special is his offensive IQ and his range as an attacker. You don't see a whole lot of guys that can run an in-system gap ball from a set that's 12, 15 feet off the net from a zone 6 player or a setter. If he's up and he's available and you put the ball in his window, there's a good chance that he puts it down with authority. You can't say the same thing for every other blocker. Even, other middles on UCLA, he does some stuff that the 7-foot McQuiggins can't do, just things that you don't see a whole lot at that position. And it's a product of his range, his ability to make things happen and be open and available. Because he's such an offensive threat, he also takes the block with him. And he's able to get other blockers to commit on him, which frees up Robinson and Rama, whoever else is hitting that ball, which is why they had a whole lot of success this year as well. As we look at this first clip here, you can see just how insane this verticality is for Cam Thorne. Pretty good serve from Varga, and a high and tight pass from Zach Rama, leading to pretty much a joust at the net with Andrew Rowan. Cam Thorne is up and available for that ball just in case Rowan gives him a one-ball set. And you can see this ball hitting his chest above the net as he's descending, and that ball comes over the net. And you can see he even kind of puts his hands on Rowan's back to brace himself as he's descending. Like, this guy is chest above the net, open and available, even though he doesn't connect on this ball. The fact that he is flying up here puts so much pressure on these blockers to make decisions. It's really just a testament to his verticality and how high he gets up. Another similar play here in row 2 for UCLA. Sean Kelly gets a medium pass, bringing Rowan over to zone 3 in the middle of the court, and Cam is up and fast and in the air before contact, which draws pretty much a block and a half. Takes Money out of the play and sticks McRaven over to him as well, freeing up Rama for an easy kill on the right side. But just looking at the verticality here, look at how high he is and how quick he is to get off the ground and in the air. When you do that, you put so much pressure on the blockers, like I say, and even if they do try and block this ball, there's a good chance that he still is able to side out and get a good kill because of how quick his feet are off the ground and chest above the net being available to swing. So I would have loved on a pass like this for Thorne to get the ball a couple more times, just to make it so much harder on those Long Beach middles to really make a decision. Next, we'll touch on kind of the second theme of foot speed and closing to the pin, and this is my favorite play of Cameron Thorne of the entire tournament, right? You have a good serve from Cooper Robinson, perfect pass from Elu Choi, and Thorne is here reading, not committing on Todd, coming in and waiting for this set where he assumes this ball is going to the pin. So he waits till the set is made and then closes, and Rama gets the block. But just look at this footwork and see how he actually pretty much beats Zach Rama to this close. Rama is a good 4 feet to the right of him, closer to the ball, and Thorne is up in the air really at the same time as him, closing to this pin. And that's partly due to the speed of this set gives him enough time to get there, but I love the way he's able to close the block, get up there and press. That's really a product of his lateral foot speed and his ability to get left and right after that set is made. So huge play by Thorne here, and just this is what he did all season long, and that's exactly what you want out of your middles. All right, the last play we'll touch on here is just his range and his offensive ability. This was in the Long Beach match. In row 1, you get a good pass from Luka. Cameron just finds the gap here, and this is a pretty good pass, and he just cranks this ball and finds the kill. And he has the range to really find these creases, especially when this right side isn't helping. He just kind of finds that blocker's left shoulder, goes right inside it, and then hits right down the court. One of my favorite plays of the final was this play on really what I've been talking about, a ball 3-meter line that this set shouldn't be made with this much success. Rowan finds Thorne and he just hammers this ball to the ground. This is why so many middles are committing on Thorne, and this is why he has so much success, because he has the range to get this ball from behind him and make it feel like it's in front of him and just bounce it to the end line. Really good stuff here. There are definitely a lot of similarities between UCLA's scheme and system and the U.S. men's national team. You think of how often they run the quick middle and the Bic combination with the speed that Cameron Thorne runs out of the middle. That immediately transfers over to the speed that I think it's really run at the U.S. level. So I think that transfers over really well. And then you look at a guy like Taylor Averill, who is 6'6", maybe a little bit bigger and stronger than Thorne, but I think Cam has him beat from a speed perspective and a lateral quickness perspective. And you saw how much success Averill had in the Olympics, hitting, blocking, doing it all, serving. So it can be done. It can really be done. You don't have to be a 6'10 plus giant. I think there are honestly some downsides to being that big when you're slower and not have as much range. So Cameron Thorne just has to be himself, play the game he knows how to play, use his verticality, his range, and his IQ. And I think if he does all those things, he deserves to keep playing at the highest levels and potentially being that go-to middle for the U.S. going forward. What does this say about modern volleyball? I think it says that you don't have to be a giant. If you work hard, if you're physical, and you can fly, then you're going to play at the highest levels. Like I said, there was one middle first team All-American list this year, and it was Cameron Thorne. And it's because he dominated the game in all aspects, and he's just that good. So excited to see him potentially play on this VNL team this year. If not, I see him definitely making impacts with the U.S. in the future, if that's what he desires. Not a lot of guys with 50-inch verticals, so when you get the chance to see him play, you're going to like what you see, and he's going to blow you away. So shout out to Cam, and VNL content is coming on the way very soon. So stay tuned for more of that as it comes out, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.